Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of Reality One. Today's episode, we're going to be doing healthcare, food around the kitchen, around dinner, and just to give you a pointer, let's come back to what is Reality One. A lot of people get sometimes confused about augmented reality or they've never heard about the idea. And now that you have concepts like AI, with my accent, when I say AR, people think I'm talking about AI. So this podcast is really to give practical use cases of AR, augmented reality, where people can understand it, where you guys can really visualize how this technology is actually going to practically help you day to day. It's not something that's in an Iron Man movie or some sort of Hollywood movie. It's something that you're going to be using day to day, and these practical ideas are going to really help you. In the spirit of the last couple episodes where we have a guest, today we have Menachem. He is a good friend of mine. Menachem, do you want to say hi, introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Menachem. I'm from London, England. I am currently living in Israel. I have worked in the food industry for a while. I am a admin gym goer, and that's a little bit about me.
So yeah, like Menachem said, he loves this kind of thing. Health is what he lives for. And we've had conversations, we've discussed augmented reality, and he's gotten really excited with ideas about it and wants to share quite a bit about what's going on. Just to let you guys know, so this idea of having a guest here, Menachem's job here today is to be your guys' advocate. Almost as if one of you guys gets to join me in the podcast here and ask me questions if there's a word that not everybody knows about, or there's concepts of augmented reality, there's technologies not easily understood, or ideas are generated, or questions that he can give me. This is Menachem's job. He's your guy's advocate, and he's going to do a great job today because we're going to go through some really cool ideas and concepts. With all that out the way, we're going to step into today's episode, like we said, is the dinner. Like we do always, we're going to visualize this. This is a day in the life. Remember in the morning, we hit the gym, we did the things we were supposed to do. We had a doctor's appointment. We went for a hike. We did a bunch of exercise and health stuff. And now we're heading home. It's time to cook some dinner. We're going to do maybe some meal prep. We just came from the gym, where we might head to the gym later. So we're going to do meal prep for that. We're going to cook dinner for the family. And we're going to see how augmented reality really comes into the day of the life, and it will help a lot of things that we're either used to doing or some things that we're scared to do. And we're going to see how augmented reality is going to help with that. Okay, so let's sit back. Let's visualize. We've done all these things. We're coming home. We're about to prepare. And we step into the kitchen, right? So first thing we might do is prep for the week. So we've got specific sizes we want. We've got specific meals. The first thing that AR can do is when we go to the fridge or we go to our pantry, we look to see what we have. Because it's contextual, it can highlight the food. So today, you and I, if we don't really know about health, we might have to go to Google and we might have to put in a search. What could I use for a meal prep, or what's some good food? It doesn't have any knowledge about my past, about my preferences, things like that. So we can use things like AI to understand these things and learn our preferences, but we can use AR to help see what we already have at home. Imagine if right now, visualize, you're looking into your fridge. You and I know definitely I would look in the fridge and I just see a bunch of food. But I'm sure when Menachem looks into the fridge, or someone else that's interested in healthcare, they can easily spot the foods that they want to prepare something with. And AR can help highlight those foods.
Okay, so a big thing I see with lots of people that trying to prep food and make dinner all the time, it's long and straining, and it's such a pain in the ass. Actually, how long is it going to take me to cook dinner? I only have 20 minutes right now. I only have 10 minutes right now. I don't want to make myself a 3-course dinner right now. I don't want to eat healthy. I'd rather just order McDonald's, 10 minutes to my house. It's so much easier. It's so much more convenient for me. Why would I go through all the trouble of making myself dinner? I think with AR, it can actually see in your fridge, say, okay, I have 10 minutes to cook dinner. What can I cook within 10 minutes? What's an easy recipe to cook within 10 minutes? I think the information with the AR and the AI, what I need for myself, what kind of food is healthy for me at this moment, what food do I need for today's activities or tomorrow activities, or how many calories have I burnt today, what is my diet for today? That information can be easily accessible and easily attainable right in front of your face with the AR, so you could see, okay, Greek yogurt, that's the calories I need right now. That's exactly what my body needs. I can just grab it off the fridge, put some blueberries in there, and that's my dinner if I need it. I don't have to think twice. I don't have to go through my head, what do I need to eat? What's good for me right now? It's just such a simpler, easier way of living your life.
Yeah, exactly. Menachem makes so many good points over there. Like we said, you and I or regular people that aren't into this, we look in a fridge and we don't see what we need. AR looks into a fridge and using the AI that has made us the plan and everything, easily identifies, not only do I know that's a yogurt, but I know exactly how many calories is in it, what is needed, and all it needs to do is maybe put a little holographic arrow on it or highlight it in green or something and just tells you, pull that out, pull some berries out, and you put something together. Sometimes the difference between knowing there's only a little bit of knowledge separating you. And today, that knowledge is attainable on the internet. But I don't know about you guys, but I would look at a fridge and the first thing I'm not going to think about is, oh, let me go and Google a podcast or read an article about what could be good, because that's going to take time. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what I have in my fridge. My fridge could be completely different. But over here with AR, because it's so contextual, this is exactly what's happening in your fridge. If we highlight exactly that, it makes something that either too hard or a bit too much of a bother, and then we end up just taking something out of the fridge that's not healthy. Over here, it's literally picking it out of the fridge and saying, hey, you've already got this. All you have to do is pair this and this together, and that's a good snack, or that's a good dinner. And I think that's a big difference between looking into a fridge and just pulling out anything that comes to you without researching knowledge or anything like that. And AR being able to bring that out from a expert's mind, because Menachem says when he looks into a fridge, he sees, oh, this and this makes sense. Now, the only difference between that and me is that Menachem knows all this stuff, it's in his head. But AR can take something that's in an expert's head, make it available to every one of us when we look into the fridge.
I also want to add to that is that every person out there has like a certain requirement of food. They don't know what they are, but everyone has a certain dietary plan. If you're on a keto diet, you're on a low-calorie diet, you're on a high-calorie diet, every person has a goal in mind. And it's such a difficult task to find out exactly what you want to eat. So I think what AI or AR actually does can actually help you make those decisions based on the diet you actually are deciding to choose, which I think is such help for the healthy diet in the future and just diets in general. I think it just makes life so much easier for every person to be able to get their access to everything quickly, and it will be remarkable. It'd make health easier, lifespan easier. I think people just eat foods. They don't really know what their body needs. What is a body nourishing? What kind of foods are actually good for me right now? Do I have an O blood type? Do I have an A blood type? What food is good for that? We don't have information like that. So I think the AR is showing us, with the AI, comes in and shows us the information in front of our faces. So we don't have to make those decisions. It literally tells us straight away what is going to be our dinner plan for tonight. What is our goal? What is our trajectory? Where are we heading to? What in 5 or 10 years' time? What do we want out of our life? I think that information we could literally put into a system, and every day for the next 5-10 years, that system will just show us straight away what we need.
Exactly, yeah. It's one of those things. If you had an expert next to you, if you had a trainer that was standing right next to you and pointing at your fridge and saying, take that and eat it, that's what most of us need. That's what most of us want. And a lot of us don't have the money to go and pay a trainer to sit with us. That's what AR is going to do. It's going to be built on the AI. Because listen, any one of you, if you guys have played with ChatGPT, you can go in there and type in and say, I'm a 25-year-old male. I weigh this and this. I have this and this lifestyle. This is what's in my fridge. And I can start listing everything in my fridge. Now, AI, ChatGPT, can generate that and say, based on that, here's your meal plan. And it can write an entire meal plan. It takes that a step further and says, you don't have to type out everything and tell me all these things. I can look into your fridge and I can see exactly what that is. And through highlighting, and you can highlight in any way, right? Put a special color on it, make it glow, make it pulse. You can have a little arrow on top of it. But that's literally the same thing as having a health food, an expert next to you, a coach, a trainer, whatever that is, in your house, pointing at the food that you have and saying, pick that, take that.
Not only that, I feel like we all want a dietitian. We all want, like, we go to the gym, people can't afford a personal trainer. That's just part of life. Like, everyone wishes to have a personal trainer with them all the time. So everyone wants to be able to go and cook dinner and have a dietitian next to them. That is the AR. The AR is that dietitian for you. It's that paid dietitian that you don't have the money, access to be able to pay someone to tell you, okay, based on your knowledge of your body right now, you need to have this certain food for dinner. Or even going a step further than that, it's actually the person that's actually counted your calories throughout your day for you already, which is fantastic. The AR has seen that information already, that you've eaten breakfast 532 calories. You've had for lunch 468 calories. You've had a snack of 32 calories. You've eaten fats today. You've eaten proteins. You've eaten carbs. You've exercised for 62 minutes. You've burnt this many calories. That information, we have to search on our phones. We have to go through it. We have to break them down. Right now, you don't have to do any of that information. The information is seen in front of your eyes. Makes life 10 times simpler coming into the fridge when it comes to dinner. So I think that is what the AI is going to be showing us. That's making our lives just that much more simpler. Less decisions to make, less on our heads thinking of what do we need. And I think the less choices we need to make in our life, the easier life will get.
I want to reiterate that. I want to work on that because that is phenomenal. If you guys are listening to this, what he's saying is that we have, nowadays, if you have these apps and things like that, you have a journal, you want to count calories, you want to know what you're doing, you want to know what, you want to remember or help plan what you want to eat in the future or what you can eat according to your diet, your calories, whatever it is, you have to write everything down. You have to remember what it is and write it down. Now, that is really hard to do during the day, especially if you're not just eating something simple like one banana in the morning and an avocado at night. We're talking about lots of ingredients going into this. Also, all the extra stuff, different sodiums, things like that the food is composed of. Augmented reality, we're using this thing called computer vision. And again, we talk about this. It's the building block. Computer vision is just the idea of helping or training a computer to use RGB. It's using the feed that's coming into it and understanding what it's seeing. So over here, instead of having to write down every single piece of food and how much you ate, because the glasses that you're wearing or the context you're wearing is seeing the world in front of you to understand, it is seeing every single thing you're eating. You don't have to sit there and write down. You don't have to worry about putting in measurements, things like that. Everything's being recorded. And through that, it's feeding that into your AI, into your personal assistant that's running in the background, that's acting as your coach, that's acting as your nutritionist, that's doing all this. And it's saying, we've seen everything you've eaten. Based on that, stop eating. Or based on that, have this, try this. When you next open up the fridge, it's not just going to go, hey, see that yogurt, we want it because it's got 20 calories. We're saying, we want you to eat that yogurt because we've seen everything that you've had today. And based on that, this yogurt will help complete everything that you need to eat in your health, in your calories, whatever the diet is. It's building off on everything that it's seen and it's doing it seamless. It's like, it's almost magical. You have with you all day a dietitian, a trainer that's not only seeing what you're putting into your body, it's also recognizing what you've got in your fridge, what you got in your pantry, and it's helping you tell this is the next thing you should eat, or these are the ingredients you can put together for a meal, for dinner, for meal prep, whatever it is. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to also go on is what Menachem said in the beginning of this idea of like step by step. That's a huge thing. I'm going to take this back to analogy of navigation. Back in the day, yes, we used to have this thing called Melways in Australia. We used to see things through this map and we would have to understand the graphing and work through it. After that, we got this thing called like MapQuest and we would put in our destination. It would give us all the steps. We no longer would have to figure out the steps by tracing on a paper map. It would give us everything. So when we would drive, we would just get 10, 15 steps and we would follow it. We still have to read it. Current GPSs work on what's called a turn-by-turn navigation. It's not telling me the next 5 steps. It's telling me what is the next turn to take. That's all you need to care about. And a lot of times, and I have this problem, and I'm sure that many of you have this, is that sometimes these things can be really simple. When you know what's happening, it's really simple. Like when you know how to drive home, you're not thinking that driving home comprises of 20 steps. You're not thinking about every turn. Do I have to make a right here? Do I have to make a left there? Do I have to take the second exit of a roundabout? It's subconscious. You're doing it because you know it. Same thing here in health. There's so much information behind it, but when you know, it becomes easier. So if we can use the power of augmented reality, the power of computer vision, the power of a contextual paradigm of computing, where computing becomes something that is based on here and now, what I see, what the world is in front of me, I no longer have to have a whole article that I'm trying to follow or a whole ingredient list that I'm trying to remember every single step. All it needs to go is highlight, see that oven, go there, preheat it. Now go to the fridge, get that. If it can break it down into step by step and point out with augmented reality, with visuals in front of my face, this is where you need to go. Okay, now that you have the fridge open, I'm going to highlight the exact piece that you need to take out. Now I'm going to take that out and using augmented reality, I can show you how to slice it. Take out the cucumber. I want you to slice it this way, that way. I can visualize that and show you those cuts with augmented reality.
So I'm going to give you a little example. It's an amazing point, Avraham, that you placed over here. And I'll give you a little example. I try to eat a gluten-free diet. I'm very low on gluten in my day-to-day life. And I like going to restaurants and eating gnocchi there. And lots of times I've gone to restaurants and eating there, but I've never made gnocchi. For me, I'm like, I decided, why not last week? Why not make gnocchi? But I was like, I've never done it before. Something you've never done, something you never cooked before, it's so much dread towards it. You're like, oh. What is gnocchi? It's such a pain to do it. So I went up online, I searched a recipe out, I did it, and then I made it, and I was like, this is the simplest thing to make in my life. So that information, I think that's what AR can give you, is that simpleness. So you don't have to dread things. You don't have to dread, oh, I can't be asked cooking dinner right now. Oh, I'd rather get a takeout. That dread, I think that's what scares people to move forward in their health, in their life, is that laziness, which we all have. Long day. You have a long day. Everyone's having long, stressful days. No one wants to make big decisions at night. No one wants to make that big decision. Oh, what do I have to cook for dinner now? I have 4 kids. They're crying. They're hungry. Oh, I can't be asked getting up. I can't be asked making this. I can't be asked doing that. The kids crying. They all want their own ingredients they need for themselves. My husband's this. My wife is that. No. Get to the fridge. Do this. Get to the fridge, do that one step. Do that one step. You have 10 minutes? We'll make a delicious dinner in 10 minutes. You have half an hour? We can make it delicious in half an hour. I think that's that friendly friend, that nutritionist, that chef in the kitchen with you, and you're just the sous chef. You're not even a chef in the kitchen anymore. You become the sous chef. You become the person that's literally going to hold your hand and tell you, fry those onions for 5 minutes. Cook those potatoes in the oven for 10 minutes. Turn the oven on. It's just simple tasks that you need to do, and you don't have to think about. And let's say, and sometimes you get distracted. You don't need to get distracted anymore. You'll have a messenger in the back of your head. Oh, the oven, 10 minutes already. It's going to tell you, turn off the oven. You don't need to think it anymore. It's literally, it's done for you. The thinking is done for you. All you need to do is just do those simple steps. I think that is what AR can literally help people live in healthy and more nutritious lives.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, talking about the timer, Menachem just said, with AR, think about it. You've got a lot of things that are working right now, right? You've got the oven that has a timer for how much longer it needs to be preheated. You might have eggs boiling and there's a time for how long they work. You've got a lot of different things that need your attention. So when you're thinking about, oh, I need to have this all in my head, or I need to have an egg timer and do everything at one time, that becomes very difficult. But with AR, we can easily put that timer straight on top of that pot, straight in front of that oven. We can have 20 different timers going on, and each one of them has a countdown clock right in front of it, contextually. Remember, this is the big power. If I can give anything to you guys, what is the strength of augmented reality? It is context. That's what it is. There's a huge difference between having a list of 10 timers on my phone and having to give them why do I have to title? Think about it. Like now, iPhone just got multiple timers after many years. But what do you have to do with multiple timers? You have to give each one a title to remember what they are, because there's no context. Because your phone is separate from the world, the only way that you can remember, the way that you map in your head is you look there, you see the title, and I have to make it short and descriptive to understand it. If you have the timer sitting on top, right next to, in front of whatever, right there next to the item that it's timing, that's the context, that's the power. You no longer have to have titles, icons, things like that. Now, take that with timers and do that to measurements, right? Look in front of your pot of flour. It just has a very simple graphic visual hologram printed right in front of it that looks like it's hovering wherever it is, and all it says is half a teaspoon. You don't have to go back to a cookbook and an ingredient and remember what you need to do. What is this? Is it salt? Is it? None of that is there. All of this augmented reality has contextualized timing, measurements, numbers, all these different things are in front of you. And when you add that to step-by-step guidance, when you're only worrying about what's the next thing you have to do, you're taking something that we're scared about, not because we're incapable. We're scared about things because we've never done them before. And if we can break these big tasks that seem like these mammoth tasks of making gnocchi and just break it down 20 steps, just focus on this step. We're going to show you what the timers need to be, where they are. We're going to show you exactly the measurements. We can even visualize in 3D what the measurement looks like. But if you break that down, you completely change the way that you approach these things, right? So context is my word that I would really bring to it. And yeah, that helps with it. So remember, finding ingredients, easy. In guiding to the pantry to find what I have, looking at the fridge. Computer vision will also connect with your shopping list. So as you look at your fridge, you will have a system because, yeah, like we said, with ChatGPT, you can go there today and you can say, I've got in my fridge, and list out 10 different ingredients, and you can ask it, give me a recipe in 10 minutes, right? That's the AI component. AI component's easy. What augmented reality does is with computer vision, it'll see all those things straight away. You don't have to write anything down. You don't have to remember it. It'll highlight those things. Next time you go shopping, the things that you're missing, the things that you want to add to your dinner for next time will be in your shopping list, because it's just something that just by glancing at the fridge, it automatically, magically will go into your shopping list for next time. So finding things step by step, timers, contextual, all these things completely change the game. And just to go into previous episode, I have a video of showing how to fix the fridge. And we made the point, the reason why we made that video is because the difference between you fixing a fridge and a electrician fixing the fridge, it's not because he's much smarter than you. It's because he knows what to listen to. He knows what to hear. He knows what to look at. He knows what's wrong with those things. Now, really, in the day and age of the internet, and when we have YouTube, we could easily put in the model number for the fridge. Or we could say, show me the ingredients of a nice gnocchi recipe. And we can easily watch a video like that. There's a huge chasm between watching a video. I don't know about you, Menachem, but if I were to watch a video of how to make a gnocchi it might be a great chef, but I'm probably having to pause that and play it every 3 seconds to see what he got, see what the ingredients are, go back. It's not easy at all. And especially if my hands are dirty and I have to be controlling this video, that's stop and start, very difficult. If I had my AR and my AI give me that recipe, but take contextually in how my kitchen is set up, what I have in my fridge, line them all out, and very visually in front of me, see how big the portion is. Let's say you need a ball of dough. You can use augmented reality to identify if that ball is big enough and to maybe put a little visual like a tick over in front of it, or a bounding box. So when I look at the circle that I'm making, there's a circle that would show me this is the boundaries of how big this ball should be. And so very easily, I know exactly great portion sizes where I move things around. Also, like you were saying, preparing food for the day. I can use augmented reality to even see how much more food I need. If there's empty space, if I'm missing another piece of chicken, it can recommend that. It can help me, it's all visual. It can make different outlines or different holograms of saying, this is how the thing should be set up, how I should be preparing it. All these visuals are taking information that we have nowadays in a very different system that is on the web, on Wikipedia, on a blog post, on a YouTube video, and it's contextualizing that. It's bringing that into our space with the things we use, in the containers we're using, step by step. That to me, that sounds like that changes the game. What about you?
I totally agree with you.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we're definitely going to wrap up now. I think this is going to be a short and sweet episode. So today was the end of the day. We're all tired, right? Today we did gym, we did doctor's appointment, we did a hike. So there's a lot to do. And yeah, just like step by step and keeping things short, we're going to keep this short. Actually, one last thing I wanted to add in. Menachem was mentioning earlier of seeing food differently or being able to use visuals to help kids eat food. There was a very interesting paper that I read a couple years ago that was using a little bit of virtual reality, but it applies to augmented reality. And it was, if you can change the way something looks, you can basically fool people into thinking that a portion of food is bigger or smaller if you magnify that. With augmented reality, if you can take a plate and make it look 2 times bigger, while I'm eating, I can have the system trick me. I can say to the system, listen, I know I overeat, please help me out. We can actually use augmented reality over here to help trick you into magnifying that bowl. So everything else in the house looks regular, but when I look at the bowl, it suddenly looks like the steak is 2 times bigger. It looks like I've got a double portion of salad. And we've actually had research paper on this that proves that if you do something like this, it tricks your brain into thinking you're eating double. You will get satisfied faster by only eating the things, and you're still eating something that's healthy. That's the proper portion for you. So I thought that was also probably something interesting to bring over here, the power of augmented reality. Anyways, thanks guys for listening. I don't yet know what next episode is going to be, so stay tuned for that. We're going to continue with a day in the life. We've got so many more episodes. We've got AR in the airport with traveling in the military. We've got extreme sports, skiing, snowboarding, things like that. All architecture. That's going to be a big one. Anyways, there's lots more episodes planned. You guys are going to really enjoy it. If you've got any comments, questions, or even ideas that you've maybe had as we went through this episode, that maybe the next time that you go shopping or the next time that you're preparing dinner and you realize, whoa, Avraham and Menachem discussed that on the Reality One podcast, and that is something that could really help me. And you maybe generate some ideas of your own of where this could help you out in your specific circumstances. Send them to me. Comment wherever you're listening to this podcast. I'd love to hear them. And if you have some great ideas for the future, put them in as well, because we might just feature them. So anyways, let's wrap this up. I want to thank you guys for listening. Share this podcast with your friends. Make a review. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify. And I'll see you guys in the future.